In the 2016-17 season, Kawhi Leonard was in his physical prime, pretty much having no major injuries, and most likely being the best two-way player in the league that year. Now, I want to start things off by looking at Kawhi's on-ball scoring, because at this point in his career, Leonard already established himself as a top-tier defender across the league. But I think this was a season where Kawhi's offensive game was really molding into something special.
Leonard gets away, drives inside!
When looking back at the film from this year, the first thing that stood out to me was Leonard's quickness. At age 25, Kawhi had a good burst with the ball, allowing him to easily create these routine straight line drives. Watch him here skip off his right foot and turn his head, selling as if he's about to use his screen to his right. But Kawhi is going to replant that foot, pushing himself into this drive. When playing downhill, Leonard also had really good strength, being able to lower his shoulder and drive through contact. We'll see him here attack to his right. And notice how this defender is aggressively leaning on his hip, trying to push him into this help defender. But Kawhi has the strength to both pick up through this gap, to then step through contact and extend to the basket. I love this finish here, where Leonard is briefly going to hesitate up, then pick up and veer into this big spot. And from here, Kawhi has the control to decelerate for this vertical finish. So Kawhi's ability to maintain his base and be stable while attacking gives him countless of finishing options in the paint. On top of those different strides, Leonard also has the ability to score off 2 feet, where he has great lift and touch on these short hook shots. And Kawhi playing off 2 feet also opens doors for him to counter. We'll see him here attack off the screen to his right, then snake the ball back over to his left. And notice how he's going to lift this big up with a jump stop and pump fake, setting up the scoop finish. So Leonard's combination of quickness, strength, and polished footwork made him a lethal downhill scorer. And pretty much all those tools carry over to Kawhi's mid-range game, where Kawhi's strength and balance played a big factor in his ability to create separation. Watch him here get this big to open up his stance by attacking hard to his right. And while coming downhill full speed, Leonard in stride is going to plant his left foot and separate out into the step back. And that balance also played a big factor in Kawhi's mid-post scoring, where he obviously had a variety of separation moves, but he was also elite at reading angles. We'll see him here sizing up his man. Then he's going to lift them up with a shot fake, and notice how Leonard is going to attack his top foot, to then stop right-left into this pull-up. Now on this play, instead of attacking the defense's top foot, Leonard is going to pivot his right foot down, to then flow into a step back.
A drive, pull up baseline, nails it.
Leonard can also set these looks up off a live dribble, where off the bounce he has both really good ball control and pace. One of his go-to moves was his left hand hezzy pull-up, where he pushes the ball to his left hand and skips up, then drops down into this left-right shot. You'll see him here bring the ball through and skip his feet up, and when he feels that he has space, Kawhi is going to pick up into his jumper. And that pace and ball handling also carries over to Kawhi's scoring and pick and roll. This move here is pretty tough, where Leonard is going to refuse this screen by dropping down and hitting this in and out by curling the ball across his frame. Then he's going to turn on the jets and get this defender to open up his stance and stop on a dime for this left-right pull-up. So from a skill standpoint, Kawhi does check all the boxes. He's got the footwork and ball skills to create pull-ups in the mid-post and isolation. Plus he's also great at reading the defense and creating attacking angles. But another really underrated element in Kawhi's scoring is going to be his feel of the court. When playing with the ball, Kawhi is constantly reading all 5 defenders, which allows him to read defensive shifts and navigate to open spots on the floor. Notice on this play how the Rockets are going to send an extra defender towards the ball, and as he blitzes up towards Kawhi's left side, he's going to simply attack into open space towards his right. And Leonard can also make the same reads off a live dribble. Watch him here first drop down into this left-hand drive, and when this help defender slides across, Kawhi is going to spin back over to his right, where he has plenty of space to set up this jumper. In the half court, Leonard also did a big chunk of his work playing off the ball. The Spurs commonly had him working off a variety of pin downs and cross screens, and this is where Kawhi's ability to read the defense also played a big factor. If he was able to effectively run his man off the screen, Kawhi would catch and turn into these rhythm jumpers. If the defense was aggressively fighting over, Leonard would catch and immediately initiate a drive. And then if his man was overplaying the screen, Kawhi would dart into these backdoor cuts. And these are the simple reads that lay the foundation for pretty much every great score. It all comes back to making reads and taking what the defense gives you, which may not always lead to eye-catching highlights, but it does lead to efficient, high-quality offense. Now, Kawhi's scoring also extends out beyond the three, where he shot just under 43% on all his catch-and-shoot threes. Now, most of these shots came in the flow of San Antonio's movement-heavy offense, and like we saw with Kawhi's mid-range scoring, he's got a great feel of space and moving to open spots. Watch him here first drive and kick the ball out. And instead of hovering around the paint and clogging up driving lanes, Kawhi is going to relocate back out to the three, setting up another driving kick. We can see him make the same read here, where Kawhi collapses the defense and kicks the ball out, and while the defense is in a scramble, Leonard's going to shift back up towards the three, setting up another open catch and shoot three.
Kawhi tries another triple and got this one.
When shooting off the catch, Leonard also has elite footwork, being able to aggressively shift his spots to then settle his feet for these staple on-balance jumpers. And this adds another level to his scoring off the ball, because the defense already has to respect both his mid-range and downhill scoring. But if you're too worried about that, you're then going to give Leonard too much space for these open catch and shoot threes, which from a numbers standpoint was the most efficient shot for him that year. Notice on this play how Kawhi is going to shift up towards the ball, and right off the catch, this defender is sitting back waiting for him to put the ball down. But that leaves Kawhi with all this open space to rise up. We'll see him here lose the defense by first faking this backdoor cut, then lowering his shoulders as if he's going to curl off his screen. But then he's going to pop out behind the three and organize his feet for this on-balance jumper. Now, Leonard also has the ability to generate threes off the dribble, where he can comfortably rise up going both right and left. And while his percentages on these looks are pretty low, the defense still has to step up and respect him with the ball. So when looking at Kawhi as a scorer, he checks all the boxes. He's got the quickness and strength to be a really effective downhill scorer, the balance and footwork to effectively create shots in the mid-range, plus he's got a great feel of reading the entire floor and finding weak points to attack into, which carries over to his off-ball scoring. And then on top of all that, Leonard was also a deadly three-point shooter. When you mix all that scoring along with the Spurs' screen and cut-heavy offense, that easily made Kawhi one of the best offensive weapons in the league that year. And then we haven't even gone over probably the best part of this game, which is going to be Kawhi's defense. On the ball, Leonard was an absolute menace, having the strength and quickness to keep the ball in front, while having some of the fastest hands I've ever seen from any NBA defender. If the offense fell asleep for a split second and exposed the ball, it was pretty much a guaranteed turnover.
All scores. Spurs 10-2.
There was literally no room for error when trying to break Kawhi down off the dribble. You'll see Jrue Holiday here drop down into a routine left to right crossover, and while sitting back in his stance, Leonard has the reach to extend out and poke the ball free. The timing on this steal is pretty crazy, where the offense is attacking towards his right, and while the ball is traveling up, Kawhi is going to reach all the way across to get this steal. So Leonard's combination of length, hand speed, and timing made him a really problematic defender on the ball, and there was pretty much no good way to attack him in isolation. And even if the offense was initially able to get an angle by attacking off a screen, Leonard's timing and reach still allowed him to make plays on the ball, and this is where his ability to make quick reads also plays a big factor. Take this play for example. Wiggins is going to work off the screen to his left, and instead of trying to fight over and get on his back, Leonard reads him snaking the ball back across to his right. So Kawhi is going to simply take a different angle, giving him a clear window to poke this ball free. And all those tools carry over to Leonard's defense off the ball, where his length made him an elite gap defender, being able to dig down and make plays on the ball or dart into passing lanes. Now, when defending from the weak side of the floor, Kawhi's ability to make reads and play one step ahead of the offense was huge, where he was always early on his rotations.
Here comes Kawhi!
When playing in help, Leonard was also great at positioning himself to cover two players. Right here, you'll see this Spurs defender get pulled up to stop the ball, and Kawhi is able to both slide down to tag his man, then shift back up and take away this pass to the corner. So as a perimeter defender, Kawhi was the complete package, having the physical tools to defend anybody in open space, and the feel to make plays and blow up offensive sets off the ball. Leonard's length and overall size also made him a pretty effective defender in the paint, where at age 25, Kawhi did have pretty good lift off the floor, allowing him to shoot up and provide an extra layer of resistance around the basket. You'll see Seth Curry here initially get this blow-by off the catch, and notice how Leonard below the block is going to shift up and take away this layup at the rim. So overall, I think this was the year when Kawhi was at his physical peak, because the following year he was only available for 9 games. And since this season, Kawhi hasn't been able to play in more than 70 games per year. I think when Kawhi was fully healthy and at his peak, he was easily in the conversation for one of the best two-way players the game has ever seen. He wasn't able to put together too many consecutive high-quality seasons, but Kawhi at his peak was still a special player. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments which year you think was Kawhi's peak. The Kids Here.